The Sermon on the Mount ends by telling us that the life built in haste isn't the life that's built to last. Wisdom, true wisdom, godly wisdom, the kind of wisdom that Jesus pours forth in the Sermon on the Mount, finds the right foundation before building the house. In fact, in this section, he tells us that those who hear his words and do them are like wise men. Hear and do. That's the life of faithful obedience, and that's kind of the mantra of the Mount. I mean, what you're hearing should be lived out. As these people leave the mountain, they remember the word, the voice that's been painted into their hearts, and now they're moving to live it out in the midst of their communities. It's hearing and doing. And here's what happens, I think, with all of us as we tend to move down the mountain, or as we tend to kind of migrate away from the voice of God, we try to build our identity on a variety of foundations. I mean, think about it. When you're a kid, a lot of your identity is wrapped up in your family of origin. You know, these are my parents. This is where I live. This is kind of how how we exist. You know our name, you know who we are. And then it happens again when we go away to college. We kind of take on the sweatshirts and the hoodies and the things of our school, and we're like, oh yeah, this is where I go to school. This is the group that I'm a part of. And then we come out of college and hopefully we find a job, and people are always asking you, like, what do you do? And you tell them, this is my job. This is who I am. Then it becomes about the town that we live in. You know, I live in this city, or I live on this coast, or this is where I'm from. Or many of us find it in the person that we've married. Like, oh, you know my spouse, you know who they are, and so you know something about me because of them. Or as parents, we start to find our identity in our kids, and we really struggle with that as we get closer and closer to empty nesting. Like, who are we apart from these kids we have and the activities that they put out there? But here's the truth, is that none of those identities, not our family of origin, not the school we go to, not the job we have, not the town we live in, not the people we've married or the kids we have, none of those identities is built to last. They all come and go rather quickly. Only the foundation of Christ, only the faith we have in him is going to last with every ebb and flow of life. When we try to build a house too quickly and we don't pay attention to the foundation that the house is being built on, when the storms of life come, they're going to cause great destruction. Great destruction. These false identities or these false foundations aren't going to last. They come and go so fast. Only the foundation of Christ will withstand every ebb and flow of life. Faith, true faith, the kind of faith that Jesus calls us to in the Sermon on the Mount, is hearing and doing. It's not hearing and thinking about. It's not hearing and talking about in small group. It's not hearing and ignoring or forgetting about. Wisdom, true wisdom, the person who seeks to live a wise life is going to select a foundation that's going to last. They're going to see that obedience, faithful obedience, is going to last far longer than building the fastest house. I think so quickly we grab hold of those other things because we just want to have a house. We just want to have a house. We don't really care what foundation it's built on. So the Sermon on the Mount ends by calling us to build wisely. Life down the mount is going to be challenging. Life out and away from the presence, the voice of Jesus is going to get hard. But once the beauty of his kingdom is painted in your heart, once his voice is the voice that speaks over and over in your life, the voice of this teacher astonishes us with his authority. I mean, he speaks the truest parts of reality into existence, and it turns our broken world upside down. We're astonished by his authority, and he's inviting us to participate with him in turning the world upside down, or maybe better stated, he's inviting us to participate with him in turning the world right side up.